Gentlemen, please forgive my flea bottom accent, but I'm here to talk to you about Jon Snow. He's the king of the North. Now, certain red women would have you believe that Jon Snow knows nothing. That's not true, gentlemen. Jon Snow knows style. And in today's video, I've got 7 tips that you can take from the Game of Thrones and incorporate into your wardrobe. So today's video, I'm having fun. I'm taking Jon Snow from the Game of Thrones and I'm presenting to you 7 solid tips. These are real tips and you can use these and you can incorporate these into your wardrobe. You ready, guys? Let's get into it. Tip number 1. Carry yourself with the confidence of a highborn lord, despite perhaps being a bastard. So if you're familiar with Jon Snow's story, you know that his lineage was a bit suspect, yet he was raised in a family of highborns and he built up confidence. Even though he knew he wasn't going to inherit any lands, he wasn't going to get a fancy title, he in a sense was still on his own. So he walked around with that chip on his shoulder a bit, but he always had confidence. Even when he went to the wall, he still, Lord Snow, was considered to be kind of in his own world. He was a little bit aloof. Now, you don't want to be aloof, but you do want to carry yourself with confidence. Now, Kit Harington, who plays Jon Snow, I wasn't aware that he was only 5'8". And this is important because relative-wise, he's around a lot of other characters who are 6'2", 6'4", just bigger characters. Yet he always looks sizable. He doesn't look small. He doesn't look tiny compared with these other characters because he carries himself with confidence. He is always, in a sense, looking like he's in charge or that he could be in charge, and hence that goes to play in his story. Tip number 2. Take the black. So when Jon Snow became a sworn brother of the Night's Watch, he basically donned all black. But even before that and even after, he was always drawn to darker colors. Why? Well, you look at his complexion, you look at his hair color. Black is a color that works really well for him. Dark colors in general are going to work great with Jon Snow. Now, with Jon Snow, another thing that he liked about black, you come off as more aggressive. Think about that. If you can wear a color and people perceive you as someone that is stronger, someone that is basically tougher, someone that you don't want to mess with, that helps a lot when you're guarding a wall and you're protecting, the rest of the world from what's on that other side, grumpkins and such that's over there. The point is he understood that black is his color and he went with it. Tip number 3. Monochromatic Jon Snow. So you look at Jon Snow in general, he goes for monochromatic looks. These are looks where we basically have one color up and down. This gives the illusion of height. It makes you look leaner and it gives a very strong overall profile and silhouette. So Jon Snow, again and again, he's not going in and bringing a bright colored belt or type of holster for his sword. He knows that, hey, I'm going to go with all dark colors. Yeah, a lot of that went with the watch and went with the choice of black. But even afterwards, when, hey, he's the king of the North, he can wear whatever he wants. He could go kind of like Renly if he wanted to and bring in all colors of the rainbow. He decides not to. He decides, I'm going to stick with what works for me, what makes me look taller. Because whenever you break up a monochromatic look, what you do is you stop the eyes from going up and down. Now, if you want to bring in some variation to a monochromatic look, you can have fun with the shoes. He can have fun with his hair, maybe accessories like a pair of glasses, maybe even a scarf, which would actually work up there in the north. The point being, you can work on the end points, up and around your head, down at your feet. But here in the midsection in the body, you want to allow the eyes to go up and down, which gives the appearance of making you taller, leaner, and stronger. Tip number 4, Jon Snow knows how to build up his shoulders. Just look at the guy. He always has furs stacked on his shoulders. Now, part of this is to keep warm, but part of it also is to look more intimidating. When you basically build up your shoulders, all of a sudden you come off as stronger, you come off as more masculine, you come off as taller. Now, you can do this with a sports jacket, you can do this with a leather jacket, you can do this with a jean jacket. You can have certain shirts that maybe you're going to have epaulets or basically a little bit of design, embroidery right up here on the chest, upper chest, the shoulder area. What this is going to do, it's going to make your shoulders look bigger, and that is a strong look. Tip number 5, wear leather. Now, the way Jon Snow wears it is a little bit different. They usually boil the leather and they use it with a wool with chainmail to create an armor. Not going to recommend that for all men, but I will recommend that you maybe look at a leather jacket. Leather in general, as a fabric that's used to make clothing, to make shoes, to make accessories, is perceived as strong and masculine. Classic studies where they looked at all these different textiles, they put it mostly in front of women and they asked them, okay, what emotions do each of these evoke? Leather had the feeling of strength and masculinity across cultures. Part of this is we're conditioned. It's not something I think we're naturally picking up, but it's something that we see it as a very tough, as something that is a luxury fabric, something that is associated with wear and tear and therefore with masculinity. Tip number 6, grow out your hair. We're talking about on your head, we're talking about on your face. So when Jon Snow is on the other side of the wall, he gets captured by the wildlings. What is he doing? He's growing the stubble because he knew that a little bit of stubble would drive those wilding women crazy. And sure enough, he got lucky, broke his vows, but that's for another story. The point is he understood the power of stubble and how it makes men look more attractive. Now, he didn't stop there. He realized, I need to come off as more aggressive. I need to look tougher and stronger. How do you do that? You start rocking the full beard. Now, he also realized, hey, nothing like letting that hair on top grow out and always making it look good. So they didn't show this on screen, but I think they talked about it in one of the secret books, how he would actually use yak milk and other things to, make sure and condition his hair, always making it look great. Because have you ever noticed how after a fight, after he's been, getting chased by wildlings and living with them for months or fighting a White Walker, the guy still has amazing hair. I attribute it to the dragon's blood, but don't discount yak milk. Tip number 7, get a dog or a direwolf. Now, the latter may be a little bit hard to come by, but when we watch Game of Thrones, what do we notice? Jon Snow and Ghost, they're inseparable. Ghost is Jon's wingman. Everywhere Jon goes, Ghost is there for him, to support him, to back him up. If you've got a dog, you've got an animal, and yeah, you want to go out and meet more people, why not go out with your dog? People perceive your love and the attention and everything that you do for this animal. It's actually a great thing when people see that, especially women. They attribute the fact that you are someone that can take care of someone else. You're not selfish. They perceive this as a great thing. And there was a study, they talked about getting phone numbers. If you're a man out walking a dog and you're dressed sharp, you are 3 times more likely to get a woman's phone number if you ask for it when you're with the dog and you're dressed sharp than if you weren't with this combination. Pretty interesting, huh? But what they find is that when people see a man with a dog, we perceive them as someone that's more loving, someone that's more caring, someone in a sense that we feel more open to. All right, gents, now it's your turn. I want to hear from you down in the comments. What did you think of this video? Who's the most stylish character on Game of Thrones? What other fictional characters would you like to see me do a video on talking about their style and how to incorporate it into your wardrobe? Let me know, guys, down in the comments. And if you want more, go check out realmenrealstyle.com. I've got a free app for you. I've got an awesome podcast. So many infographics and articles where you can learn to dress like the man you know yourself to be. And if you're interested in coaching, I've got that program as well. I'm going to link to all this down in the description of this video. Gents, that's it. Take care. I'll see you in the next video. Now be sure to sign up for email notifications. That way you can watch my videos when they first come out. Now, sometimes I offer exclusive deals that are time sensitive. So make sure that you never miss out on one by being part of the early notification squad.